Step one, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing.
Hi, Bullhorn Betty. Thank you for my shirt. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Kids Club. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
So there are a few of you crazy people up with me at this ridiculous time of the morning. And yes, I am awake. I was just on Dolly. I didn't know how, like, I'm listening and stuff like that. And of course I'm back here, reading and, doing some research and stuff. And then all of a sudden I look up and it's like 5 a.m. And I'm like, 5 a.m. I gotta go. But it kind of segued because I really didn't, I was going to start at 6:30. And then, of course, I remembered I have meetings literally all day today. And so I decided to come alive, an hour earlier than what I told everybody yesterday I was going to do, because I don't know how I'm going to do it without coming live to you guys right now. So I expect a lot of people to be highly upset when they wake up and it's like, oh my gosh, Bullhorn Betty's already been live and I missed it. You guys are going to be on the replay crew. It is right now, not even 5:40. I actually started the live even sooner than I advertised, right? So good morning. Manic Mama T is the crazy one to be, right? The first one in the house. I'm like, oh, I wasn't expecting anybody. I was like expecting 2 people this morning. And I go do this. I hit the button and I come over here to grab something. And I'm like, Manic's already in there saying, hey. I'm like, what is she gonna? Good morning, love. Good morning. It's nice to see you. Thank you for being here. Fire and Ice, another crazy person up ridiculously early. Let me ask you guys, how many is not up early like Bullhorn Betty? See, I'm up early. I actually woke up, right? So there was sleep involved in my early rising. How many of you guys are sleeping or waking up, or how many of you guys are just getting ready to go to bed? You don't have to answer, but I want to know. I want to know. Fire and Ice, it's nice to see you, Vermont girl. Patricia Miller, good morning. Our beautiful Sonia. I love you, Sonia. You're always awake. I don't know how you do it. Robin, good morning. It's nice to see you. Teresa. Lulu's Nana, good morning. Good morning. Second Thesis, Lady 7 Up. We got some crazy ones up in here. We got some crazy ones just like me. I kind of like you guys. Don't tell anybody, okay? I kind of like you guys. Darlene, it's nice to see you. Getting ready for bed. I knew it. I knew you guys weren't early risers. You're night owls. I'm catching the night owls. So, on Dolly's channel, there was, I knew Justin was going on Cher's channel last night. I couldn't stay up. I couldn't stay up any longer. You guys know if I'm waking up at like 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm not staying up until 9 or 10 o'clock at night. Okay. So anyways, apparently there were some photos shown. Now, granted, I'm not trying to see any child, stuff or, things like that. It's not my cup of tea. Okay. I don't like this stuff. But if you have, I am a curious person and I like to see, if you're going to accuse things, I like to see the stuff for myself is basically what I'm mature enough. I can handle it. But this is kind of the stuff that I do, right? I have a whole entire channel and I have a large following because of it. So sometimes people have to see some things that they don't necessarily, really want to see. Do I think that Cher did this the right way? She's not broadcasting it. Yes, I do. Do I, just the pure side of me that, obviously Cher and I don't get along anymore. We don't like each other, right? There was some situation there. So there's a trust issue there for me. Okay. I love Justin to death. I trust that man with my life. Okay. If we were out and something happened to me, I believe that he would be the one that's going to walk whatever problem through. Okay. Like I trust Justin that much. I trust his integrity. I know him personally. I've met him. I know him. I trust him. So this is where my confliction comes in because, people this day and age are over whether you guys want it. And I know I get beat up for speaking the truth to power, right? Truth to power. I need to stop. I really don't care what they say. I really don't. But it's one of these things where I trust Justin on these photos, but in this day and age, we're so hypersensitive. Okay. What do I mean by that? I mean that just a few short decades ago, okay, I'm 44 years old. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. Okay. I will concede on this statement. Okay. But things that were once acceptable, have people highly upset. And I don't like Don. I just don't want to blow things. I don't want every single thing to be blown out of proportion when it comes to him. I like it to be proportionate. If it truly is something of concern, let's focus on it. If it's not, then let's not, And I trust Justin. It sounds like he did see some of the photos and he was trying to emulate maybe some of the positioning, or, just to give you an idea. And based on what I was seeing is it could be interpreted, several different ways. And one of the photos that he was, I think there was a photo of me like that at her age. That's why it's not a share thing. It's not a bias to share. And I guess kind of is, because I don't trust her. So I question things, but I know that some of the stuff she has, and I'm not going to lie, like the interviews with Dawn were very enlightening. So I'm not going to discredit some of the stuff that I did see. I just know who she is, and I know what links she's willing to go. And long story short is that's as far as I'm willing to go with that conversation. I'm not going to disparage her in any way. It's just there's a trust issue there. And with that trust issue, makes me question, right? So when you have a friendship and that friendship has been damaged by a trust issue situation, it calls to question everything that comes from that person. Why? Because that's how we as human beings interact. When somebody lies to us or hurts us or damages us in any way, naturally anything that comes from that person, we're going to question probably a little more than, say, it coming from someplace else. Like if it came from just straight from Justin, right? We wouldn't be here right now, right? We wouldn't be here right now. So my question is are these innocent photos that are being blown out of proportion? Because let's face it, when we're home and we see a cute photo, and I'm just trying to be a normal, basic person, normal home environment, not a Summer Wells, Dawn Wells, Candace Bly home environment. Okay. Just our home environment, I want everybody in my audience to do me a favor. Go through all of your cameras and look at your photos. I think in a new lens, now that we have this, perverted lens that everybody has to have, where innocent photos can be misconstrued as something because of these horrible actors in our world and in our, that just do terrible things to children. We're now more cognizant of those types of photos that we ourselves possess, because law enforcement's starting to get tighter and tighter, because they have to have laws that can prosecute these people. And sometimes innocent people get in the crossfire because of the law. And what do I mean by that? For example, if your child is out there playing in the sprinkler and it's just a cute little photo, your mom, you've seen you gave birth to this child. You've seen this child stark naked before in your life. You think literally nothing of it. This day and age, we don't snap those photos anymore because we've been taught better. But there was once upon a time that, I was out in the sprinklers. I was running around the backyard, in my birthday suit. Okay. This is in the 70s, 80s. I've got, little bullhorn, butt cheeks running all over the place. We will not be showing those photos here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. I just want to let you know that. Don't worry. You're not going to see little baby bullhorn cheeks, debuting here on. But, I'm looking through my photo album. My family photo album, the photo album that my now I know what kind of lifestyle I had. Now, granted, it wasn't great. We had there was good times and there was bad times. When it was really good, it was really good. When it was really bad, it was really bad, but we had a lot of great times. We went to Disney World. We had a big, gorgeous house. We were a family that did have our problems, our share of problems. We just, I grew up with a little, more money than most people. Did it change the fact that there was chaos at times in my life that really, messed with me? No. Just because you have money, it doesn't change, certain things. This is a situation where this family really doesn't. They don't have a whole lot of money, but they have cameras. They have their children. We have our opinion of them. But this is my challenge. It's not our opinion of him. It's whether these photos really do define something more egregious, right? That's why we're all here. We're not here. we're here to see if, because we're wanting answers for Summer Wells. Nobody really knows what happened to her. I think there's a very small group that still believes she was abducted. I really do believe there's still this small group of people that truly believe she was abducted. And I think that they are misinformed because, and it's not their fault in all fairness. It's just that one, they want to see the good in all people. But I think more importantly is they don't understand that property. I think that the people that still believe in this abduction theory need a trip to the property, because I think it's the property itself that kind of diffuses that argument. So now if we're going to be moving past this, I'm not going to focus anywhere, any shape or form on an abduction theory. One, I've been out to the property. I've interviewed a lot of people. And if anybody took that child away from that property, it's going to be somebody that child knew, and it's going to be down the driveway. There's no good way to get off that mountain except down that steep driveway. Many people don't realize that a normal car can't drive up that driveway. You have to have a 6-cylinder or more, so a V6 or a V8, and it has to, if you have a V6, it has to be an all-wheel drive vehicle to get up to their home. So that even limits the amount of people or what type of person can get up to their home. There's just a lot of people that I feel that truly believe this abduction. I think that once they see the property in real life and see the massiveness and how steep the sides of the sides of that mountain going up to their house is, I think that it's that for me that makes it almost impossible, because when you go up there, and I've been there, we were a little more ruthless at the time. We tried to put some theories to the test, right? So we tried climbing up the mountain. We look like roly-polies rolling down the mountain. We even captured MGL like literally tumbling down. I mean, it's difficult. And then like at the road, like Beach Creek Road, not off of Ben Hill, but out at Beach Creek, you've got to like literally fall down like a 4-foot drop and cross a creek. It's not easy. So there's no way somebody could have went out the back like they're trying to say, oh, well, they went through the back. No, you got to fall into a creek and climb out of a creek. The only good way in and out, because it's like the creek is almost like this moat that goes around the mountain. Those old time stories, back in the day, when they fought with swords, right? And they had cannons, right? And they had their castles, and they built those moats around them, right? And they had the drawbridge that came down, right? So you can cross through the moat and get to the castle where everybody's living, and all their soldiers are out there, right? You guys feel me? I feel like that when I look at their home, that they have like that moat that goes around them, protecting them. And you need that drawbridge to go over and come up in order to get you to get you to the other side. And I'm kind of, making this a little more extravagant than it is, because it's not a real moat. It's only like a creek, but you got to drop down a little significant amount. And then you got to pull yourself up on the other side to get out. And that's the reason why I say it like that, is because it's hard to do with a child, right? Think about it. Having to crawl your butt up, 4 feet with a child, and it just doesn't make sense on the backside of the house. The only place she could have gone is down the driveway. But I just feel like people that believe that have not seen the property. So I'm just going to move past that, because again, this all comes down to these photos of her. I want you guys to seriously do this. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. I want to know. I want you guys to go back through your family photos. I want you to look at them. How many times have we captured our children, our grandchildren, our nieces and nephews in these positions? With the little candid shots. If it's not possible, it's not possible. Now we have our answer about these photos. But the only way we're going to really know for ourselves is looking at our own personal photos. And it was the one where it was the reason what made me caution this, because I was gung-ho. Oh, Don's done it now, right? Don has done it now. Now they finally have something. So it's like, I'm kind of hopeful that this, as sick as it sounds, I'm kind of hopeful that this is kind of something that helps push this case over the edge and starts moving it back in the right direction. But in the same sense, I hope that these are innocent photos, But it was when he did the whole back with the leg kind of up on the chair. When he posed like that, that's the one that said, whoa, 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 because he's now interpreting that as being kind of a, S position type of photo. But I remember having similar photos of me. My mom was taking pictures and I was just happening to be climbing into a chair and looking back on it now, back then, when you got your film developed, you got all the film developed. It didn't really matter if it was a good photo or a bad photo. In our day, young people don't know, but I don't think I really have a whole lot of young people in my chat. Okay, let's be honest. So we all know a roll of film. And we all know the process that we had to once take. I know it's hard to remember because we've been in this digital age for so long. And granted, this is not digital age. We're talking about digital photos, not ones that are on a photo, a photo strip. I get that. But can the same thing be applied when you're taking photos of your children, even on your phone? And the only reason I tell you to go back to the real photo, the photos in the thing, is because those are the ones that we had to click, 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 click. And no matter what quality the picture was, we still paid for the development of it. Remember that? You go there, you stop off at Walgreens, you have 1 hour processing, whether you have streaks through your photos and the whole entire roll went to crap. You're still on the hook for each and every one of those pictures that were developed, whether they developed them and they look like crap or whether they were amazing. You were stuck with all of them. So it makes me wonder. Yeah, Amanda's raising her hand. She's been through it, right? I've been through it. I've got several rolls. And listen to this. So when I moved from the bigger house in East Bradenton over to this one, and it was about, 10, 12 years ago or something like that. You know how you box stuff up. Some of this stuff, I got to tell you, when you're boxing stuff up, feels like almost Christmas time. You forgot about this. You forgot about that. You were supposed to do this, and it got shoved in a drawer, right? Go ahead, Amanda. You can raise your hand again. You can raise your hand again, right? Because we've all done that. I found like 14? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 7 rolls of undeveloped film. I need to go develop it. Who knows what's even on these rolls, right? I know they're mine because they're here with me. I know they're used because the strip is all inside the roll. Like now, I need to go get this stuff. And I've even had that for like, now it's been 10 years. I've had all these rolls in this little Ziploc bag, meaning to go down to Walgreens to develop this roll of film. And guess what? I still haven't done it yet. I'm curious what's on this roll of film. Maybe I'll do that. But seriously, go to your film and see if you have any kind of photos of your grandchildren, your children, Christmas, Thanksgiving, when you're really just snapping a whole bunch of photos. Is it possible that you may have had a photo, like an innocent photo of your child or grandchild, that now putting it in a different lens may look a little odd behavior? I don't like Don. I think Don is an S predator. I think he's been an S. I think he was just wired wrong from a very young age. I think he abused his sister, without a doubt, absolutely abused his sister. I think he knew what he was doing. So to be honest with you, the possibility of these photos being not decent, not godly, not wholesome, there's a really high probability of that being so. But just because there's a really high probability of that being so doesn't make it so. Like, I think Don Wells is a piece of garbage. Honestly, whether these photos exist or not exist, and whether they're more nefarious than innocent. But again, I have photos of myself at a young age as I'm crawling into a chair in just that position that was captured. And I can promise you that nothing happened to me. You know what I'm saying? My parents weren't trying to, SALE me. So that was the one time that I, started saying, well, could this be more innocent? We got enough on Don Wells to make him look like garbage. Is this another, is this the cherry on top, or is this just a sprinkle? You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where I am with all of the photos. I don't know what to think. And I know it's going to probably get me beat up by me saying that I want to see them, or at least see one, just to see the type of position for me to get my own judgment. I'm an adult. I've been covering this case. I know that there are possibilities of really horrible things associated with this case. And sometimes you just got to see what you don't like to see. And as offensive as that may be to some people, it is true. When we were searching for Kylie Rodney, do you guys understand how many people I watched die drowning? That just to watch to see how the car sunk, it was really disturbing. It was really heartbreaking. Some were used without, some were real authentic cameras, not a joke that happened to be in the car that captured some of this stuff that they were saw. It's very disturbing, but you don't understand it until you watch it. And what I worry about and why I never show this stuff to my audience is because I feel like it desensitizes me, to the ugly. But it is the work that I do, and I don't want to desensitize my audience to that. I want this to be repugnant and disgusting, and it's still repugnant, disgusting, and vile. But I don't want people seeing what I have to see. Period. It's some of the stuff is just, it's awful. But when it comes to Summer Wells and whether I think Don Wells is a predator, I in part do believe that. But I also still want to dot my I's and cross my T's. I'm not going to point my finger. I point my finger at that man a lot. And when my finger is pointed at him, I like it being of factual and sound truth. And if I see a photo and I can justify it in my mind, I'm not going to put that on him. It's when it goes from, like, if there was an overwhelming, if it was like 50, 60 compromising photos or, something to that effect. Yeah. I mean, that's a little more egregious. But if it's only a few photos and it's here and it's there, this could be, a stream of photos and they've just deleted a few photos and kept certain ones they thought were cute. We don't know the context. And I think that, we believe in videos and what we see, but let's talk about videos where we as a public, because we believe in a video and photos over anything else, that when we look at a photo, we can judge that photo because it's captured right in real time, whatever. But remember in not the Kylie Rodney, in the Idaho 4, where the girls were walking down the road with a jackass, right, the hoodie guy. And we didn't realize, but then we knew that there was a lot of cameras along that way, right? Remember, it was hard to hear the audio, and then it was amplified and toned down and toned up and pitched here and adjusted there. And this is a video. And those words, what he actually said in the words that was captured, because it's muffled, and then when you high and pitch it can make words sound a little different. This was an authentic original video that was not modified. And all of a sudden we get Jack Showalter saying, they're going to get you. And that's not even what he said. And this is a video. captured in real time. And it was because of the audio, the distance. There was a lot of little nuances that weren't being taken into consideration when it was being amplified. And then next thing you know, we've got something that wasn't even said. So we have to be cautious, even with our photos and videos that we're looking at. Is it truly that? I mean, again, Don Wells is a piece of, he's got problems. I don't want to say, I was going to say it seems like he's trying to make some changes. But that was pre him and Candace just recently being intoxicated. They're back in the same behavior. And once they break that, I'm sober, they were sober when I met with them a few weeks ago. Don Wells he was heavier. He had color in his face. His cheeks weren't sunk in. And he told me he was sober. And I was very thankful, because I think a lot of the problems, even this whole thing with Summer Wells, is because of their alcohol and drugs. And I really hope they just stop it, because it's caused enough damage. But he seemed sober, and believe it or not, even how I feel about Don, I was really happy and proud of him. And then he goes, and him and Candace are seen yet again on YouTube, drunk as a skunk. And I'm just like, here we go again. Here we freaking go again. Like, how much do these people have to freaking lose before they realize that their lifestyle it just doesn't pay? Like, how much more do they need to lose? They just seem like they don't care. Let me tell you something. I don't know if many of you are here, because we only have 90. I went way, way, way ridiculously early. 99 people here. But those that are going to be watching the replay, comment in the chat box. Right? Comment in the chat box. Some of you guys have been with me when we had Irma come through here. Not Ian, not the one that damaged my roof. Irma. This was the one that happened before it. This was the one that scared me. This was the big one that was coming directly toward us, toward my community. And it ended up hitting further south. And it did massive, massive amounts of damage. And it happened, and the hit was like somewhere on Fort Myers Beach somewhere. Just, it was horrific. The damage, it was breathtaking. I saw ships bigger than the biggest mansion in your community sitting in the middle of a freaking road. A propeller bigger than my house. These were massive ships sitting in the middle of the road. Massive water coming in. And I've got to tell you, one of the saddest things is these trailer park communities that were around there. And one of the men that were there that, had to keep us out of this stuff, we ended up going in. That's how we got in contact. Somebody let them know that crazy people were, filming the damage, right? And it was just, I got to tell you, we walked around with, those goosebumps. But they kind of hit you, like when something shocking happens, how you get those goosebumps and then they go away. We walked around with those. It was just eerie. It was just awful. It was just, you knew it was really, really bad. And this guy described that this lady and this man literally floating down with the water. He doesn't know whether they lived or died, holding their booze. They wouldn't let go of their booze to save themselves. Some of the people out there died because they were alcoholics. They could have went to safety, but they needed their booze. And the reason why I'm bringing this long-winded story is because, in part, Don Wells and Candace remind me a lot of that person. They're losing everything. They have lost everything. They don't have their children. They're under investigation for the disappearance of their daughter. And they're still going back to the same stuff and the same behaviors that put them in this horrible position. And I don't understand that. They have every opportunity to get help. The state of Tennessee is almost willing to pay to get them help. Wants them to go to the parenting classes, wants them to show that they actually give a crap about their children. All you have to do is go here. All you have to do is go there. All you have to do, I know, I suffer from it. I suffer from it. But they know what to do to stay sober and they choose not to. There's a lot of people that do. But we also know people that there's a lot of people out here trying to proclaim that these people are good people. They've done terrible things. And if they're trying to be good people, falling back into the alcohol and drugs, which ended up causing them to do terrible things, is what's leading people's opinions of them being that they're terrible people. They have all the help in the world to stay sober. At what point, there's a lot of us out there. There's a lot of us out there. And I can understand and I can be more sympathetic to an alcoholic that doesn't have a missing child than I can be to an alcoholic that does. And we know that they do have substance abuse problems, but this there's a faction out there that are saying that these people are good people and had nothing to do with their children. Well, then explain to me, if they had nothing to do with their children, how in 3 years they have not been cleared of the crime, when many other parents are. They're not the only one with missing children or a missing child. And usually, not always, parents or guardians or somebody that child knows is involved. And you know what? I trust the police because police do a thorough job. Now, you guys are going to say, this is Hawkins County. You're right, but they had FBI out there. They had TBI out there. Even if I don't like Hawkins County, I have to rely on the fact that there were other resources out there that I do. So how bad is this case? It's a cold, in my opinion. It is a cold case. I don't think they have enough evidence to state that Summer Wells is deceased. I don't think it has anything to do with the overwhelming evidence against her parents. But they can't arrest the parents on suspicion. They got to have evidence. And for us, if there's no significant forensic evidence inside that home or on that property, then she's not going to be deemed deceased. So there's the problem. That's why I'm upset that they know that they were abused. They know that they were neglected. They know that they were put in a situation that could have harmed them. Yet the parents don't even have a misdemeanor charge against them for that. With 7 children being removed from their home and 1 child missing. I just don't understand that. And that's why I always push, and I do push this, and I hope everybody that's involved in your community, we need to be pushing this across the country. It's only fair, and it is fair across the board, and I talked to Don, and he agrees. If you're going to be taking children away from them permanently, a child permanently, it should rise to the level, because there is no reason a child should ever be removed from a home permanently unless there is clear abuse. And if there is a clear abuse, so much so that they are being fully removed from the custody of their parents, there should be charges. I'm sorry. There should be a charge. This keeps everybody honest, because if you have enough to prove that that child is being injured, harmed, or hurt in any way, so much so that you take that child completely out of that home, you better have enough to charge those parents with. Because I have a problem with a government entity that does not have any paternity to that child, acting in that child's interest for parents that they refuse to charge, the ones that gave birth to that child? Where are their rights? I think that this is a must, an absolute must. They shouldn't be able to sign their child away to get out from under criminal charges. That to me is disgusting. Because you did not give that child justice. Just removing them from that home is not good enough, because we don't know how our laws are going to be in a few years. And if they hurt that child, why would you ever want that child back into that home? And there are just a few crimes against children that a child should never, ever, ever, under any circumstance, ever be required by a judge or otherwise to have to go to that home unless they truly want to repair that relationship. There are just a few crimes that rise to that level for me. And one is SA. A child is ever hurt by their parent in that way. I don't think a judge in this world should ever have a right to force that child to go back to that home. And we've heard where courts and judges have done just that. And I think that is the most disgusting thing you could. And you know what that tells a child that's going through that? That tells a child that you're all alone. That tells a child that no matter that the authority that is there to help and protect you doesn't give a damn about you. It tells that child, keep your mouth shut, because it's only going to keep getting worse. All right, guys, you guys knew I wasn't going to be able to stay with you guys long today. I don't know if these photos mean anything. I'm glad Cher turned them in. I kind of wish she would have blurred at least one, one that wasn't as, something as shocking. I'm sure there was one that was probably a lot more mild than maybe the other ones, that she could have just blurted out to give us a little context, But you know what? In all fairness, I was on Dolly's channel, and he's absolutely right. I would prefer this not being, especially with her missing, being on public screen, and definitely think it, I want to see them. I personally want to see them behind screens. This is not something, and just like that, I wouldn't be putting them up on my screen either. Even when I realized that one of the photos you could see the top of Savannah Soto's head, and you could see the shadow of, because I didn't know that at the time until we got that incident report, and I went back and looked at the photo. As soon as I looked at that photo and realized that you could see that, I've never showed that photo on my channel again. Of course, it's out there in the public. It's actually clicked on a news segment and a news article, but I wouldn't show it on this channel because, to be honest with you, it's out of respect for the deceased. So again, in the flip side of me saying that I wanted to, blur, because I think that's the only way I would be able to see it, that's the reason. It's more selfish in nature. It's not really because I just want to see it. I want to see if I really get that vibe, because I trust my gut. If I'm getting that vibe from these photos, then we got problems here. But I'm also going in with a clear lens that's saying that, this could be just innocent photos taken of children that are taken out of context. And the reason why I can say that is because I've got photos that I just looked at that could be definitely taken out of context of me as a little child. And I know my mama would never, my mom's a sweet lady, but I'm telling you, that lady's a beast. She's a beast. She would give her life for her children. So I know that no matter what photo is in our album, I know there is nothing like that associated with it. But I do see some photos in the album that could be questionable. So again, what was the intent of the photo? Innocent or nefarious? Those are questions you're going to have to decide for yourself. But I would like to just take a look. That's all I want to do, is just take a look under the hood, see if they hold water, and if my gut tells me the same thing as Cher's gut tells her. If my gut's telling me the same thing Cher's gut's telling her, then yeah, we got some problems here. So anyways, guys, I've got meetings all day. I love you. God bless. I will come back for a later this afternoon. And yes, we are going to have a later afternoon live, one that's a little more involved and a little more scripted, and we have something to look at. This was kind of, I've got a meeting. I want you guys to know that we're not going to be live at 6:30, and we're not going to be live at 7:30 this morning. This is the morning live for today, guys. I do love you. But I'm going to be literally in meetings all day. So once I get out of my meetings and my day is done, I'll come here and look at the news cycle for the day and see if there's anything that's out of the ordinary. Otherwise, we'll just have a conversation on one of our main topics and main crime cases that we're covering right now. So you guys have an amazing day. Happy Tuesday. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe and kind to one another. God bless. And I'm going out with my thoughts on Summer Wells. So as we're watching Dr. Phil and getting an insight on Summer Wells, you know, we're paying close attention to every piece of words that are coming out of their mouth. We're paying attention to their body language. We're paying attention to every little detail. We're going back. We're fast forwarding forward. We're rewinding back. And so go ahead and shoot that. So Don Wells on here says the first thing he thought of when he realized his daughter was missing is that she was abducted. That was his very first thought. My question is with that, all that greenery, all that trees, all that whole vast land, your first inclination would be that she was abducted? Not that she was lost, not that she went out and played and fell asleep somewhere, you know, in a tree, something. Your first thought was she was abducted. And he says that multiple times, that's his first thought, is that she was abducted. My question is that would have been my first thought, first and foremost. Secondly, why would that have been his first thought? Was he threatened by somebody that he owed maybe money to, that if he didn't pony up, something would happen to his family? If he didn't owe any money, why would that be his first thought? The wife, Candace, has failed and actually got up out of the interrogation with the human lie detectors, the two gentlemen that were there, you know, reading body language and everything else like that, which was a little suspicious because, you know, you're here to try to find answers for your daughter, and especially if you think she was abducted, your first thing would be, you know, selflessness. You're not worried about yourself. You throw everything on the table to save your child, and somebody asks a tough question, and you break down and get up and don't want to talk about it and take your microphone off. This is not conduct of people that had nothing to do or don't know anything. Secondly, it was apparent that Don Wells may have been at work during the time. So why is the wife half, Candace, so upset about stuff? To me, just this little bit I previewed thus far, I believe she knows a hell of a lot more than she's saying she knows. I think Don now knows that she may have been involved, and that's why he's having some body language, eye blinking pattern issues. But if he was not there at the time she disappeared, I think the mom knows exactly what happened to Summer.
Summer Wells went missing on June 15th, 2021. She disappeared from her home at 110 Ben Hill Road in Hawkins County. On her 2-year milestone, we placed this banner on the side of the road. Since she went missing, she hasn't been heard or seen from again. While I was visiting the area, I saw Don Wells working on his truck and asked him if he'd come down and speak to me, which he did. Don Wells and I had a conversation about his daughter Summer Wells and information related to her disappearance. Don Wells maintains that somebody came on the property and took his daughter away. He still believes after all this time she has been abducted. His family came under heavy scrutiny, but they maintained their innocence. One thing Don Wells told me is that they have no new leads into anybody that could have been responsible or is responsible for the disappearance of his daughter Summer Wells. Many people across this country want to know what happened to Summer Wells. Where is Summer? If you have any information related to the disappearance of Summer Wells, you are asked to call 1-800-TBI-FIND.